Hello, this is part 1 of making my Bitsy cosplay from Legend of Evandris' Uprooted campaign. I started this cosplay in October of 2024 and then procrastinated it so bad I finally wore her to the Ren Fair that was, as of writing this script, this last weekend in June.
It is now August, and after I wore Bitsy to the Ren Fair, I posted a TikTok, and everyone was tagging Legends of Evandris in my comments, and then they followed me back. So I'm mutuals with Legends of Evandris on TikTok. What the fuck?
I didn't want to spend too much on this, so I wanted to see what I already had, which was a lot. I had this yellow fabric I thrifted probably years ago, and this blue fabric that is actually a dyed top sheet. I thrifted a white button-up I was going to dye orange for $6.99. I already had both synthetic and regular dye in orange. I think I used the regular because the shirt was 100% cotton other than the thread. I just followed the instructions. You have to follow them to a T or else it won't turn out. I know from experience. Trust me. Oh my god, I know from experience. I then put it in the dryer and it did come out splotchy, but I thought it looked cute for her. So I then went to my mom and I said, please, please, please iron this for me, which she did. Thank you, Mom. After cutting all the pieces out, basically just freehanding and marking lengths with a ruler, I used interfacing on the front square and the straps. I really just sewed a sack thing and turned it inside out, and a tube and turned it inside out. Freehanding a pocket shape, I cut out and again made a little sack thing and turned it inside out. And I marked where I wanted them on the skirt and top stitched all of these parts down and started to sew all the pieces together. One of the best skills to learn if you're sewing your cosplays that will up the quality and cleanliness of your cosplay is top stitching. It does take a great amount of practice and patience to perfect, but I wouldn't even say I'm perfect. And I do it a lot. I love top stitching. The skirt is 3 panels because I wanted to have pockets in the side seams to better hold my phone, so I literally just drew around my phone on the fabric and freeballed a pattern. After sewing the side seams and pockets, I hemmed the bottom and sides, then started to gather the top. Having already prepared the waistband with interfacing and aligning, I started to pin the skirt inside so I can top stitch it closed. And this is where my months-long hiatus started, and I don't have footage of anything else for the apron, which is fine because when I came back, I decided to get it. Which is fine. What the fuck am I saying? Which is fine because when I came back, I decided to get it as accurate to the second season art as possible and changed everything about it. Using lace I already had that had small scallops on one edge, I cut it in half and used an airbrush. I'm sorry, you don't need an airbrush for anything I'm doing. I just have one, and orange airbrush paint is the perfect color. I promise you can do this by hand. I also cut some paper in the shapes of the scallops to mask the scallops from the rest of the lace and started to paint it orange. I then cut out the blue trim that's on the bottom part of her skirt, sewing it on either side of a white strip of fabric. After an iron, I pinned the trim good sides together so when flipped up, I can hide the edges when I top stitch it on. Taking the other side of the fabric, I cut in half. I top stitched it on the edges of the neck straps. I also took leftover blue fabric and top stitched it onto the waistband to make it more accurate to the art. I then made a template of the design that is on the white part of the trim and airbrushed it on as well. And that's the apron. In the next part, I'll be making the skirt, tail, ears, and everything else.